Assalamu alaikum students. How are you all doing today? Okay, so I'm back with another lesson today and I welcome you all to SM Public Academy Campus 5 online classes. So this will be our English literature lesson 2. Very good. But before we begin our lessons, there is something we need to take care of. And you know what it is? You know what? Yes, you have to protect yourself from coronavirus because this is the reason why we have to take these online classes and we cannot sit together and have a wonderful time in our classrooms, right? Otherwise, you can see we would be having a very nice time in our classroom, sitting together and having a wonderful reading, writing comprehension, okay? So, but what you have to do during this coronavirus pandemic, you know what you have to do? You have to keep your hands clean, you have to never cover your mouth and nose with a mask, and you have to wear gloves and avoid sneezing in an open space. If you want to sneeze or if you want to cough, make sure you use a tissue paper or in your elbow. And avoid contact with people. Now, how can you avoid contact with people? By social distancing. Yes, you have to avoid going to the marketplaces and to the shops and don't go out unnecessary, okay? We teachers are actually waiting to see you all back to school in your classrooms, your smiling, happy faces, inshallah, very soon, okay? So just take care of yourself. Now, let me remind you that my name is Ms. Sabah Arif and I'm your English literature teacher this year, okay? So, now you know that this is our English literature textbook for this year. So every time you have a lesson, you have an English literature class, you have to have your book with you because definitely whatever we will read, we will be reading from this textbook. So if you don't have the textbook, you cannot follow the instructions. So you remember last time what were we doing? We were reading this book, right? And what were we reading? We were reading a lesson from this book. What was the lesson? The lesson was, come on, start thinking. The lesson was, the lesson was, okay, the horse and Anne. Yes, there was a girl. You remember what was the girl's name? Yes, the main character of the lesson is Anne. So Anne was a girl. And what else do you know about her? She was a lovely girl who lived in a cottage with a stable at the side, right? And you know what a stable is? A place where horses are kept. And what is a cottage? A cottage is a small home or a small house in the countryside. Very good. Okay. So, Anne wanted to buy a big brown horse with a glossy coat. Now, what was glossy? Shiny. So, there was this girl, Anne, and she lived in a cottage with a stable at the side, and she wanted a horse. Her wish was fulfilled by her grandfather, who took her to a horse fair. So, did her mother and father fulfill her wish? No. Her wish was, or her dream was fulfilled by her grandfather. Very good. As there were many beautiful horses, it was hard for Anne to choose a horse. So when she was going to the horse fair, she was very much clear that this is the horse I want to buy. I want to buy a big brown horse with a glossy coat. But when she went there, she was confused because there were so many different kinds of beautiful horses. And she was actually like thinking, oh my God, how can I buy a horse here? She saw a little foal and asked grandfather to buy her that foal. Oh, and that was the place where we stopped reading, right? When Anne asked her grandfather to buy her a foal. What is a foal? A foal is a young one of a horse. So basically, now she was interested in a foal rather than a big brown horse. And why did she take this kind of a decision all of a sudden? Why did she decide this? We don't know. Let's see. So let's have a preview of what is going to happen. Do you think grandfather will buy her that little fool? Okay, now her grandfather must be very loving and must be fulfilling most of her wishes. But do you think grandfather will buy her this foal? Huh? Do you think this will happen? Hmm? I don't think so. Let's see what happens. Because you remember, there were people at the fair who were talking about how difficult it would be to keep a little foal. It needed special care and love for at least 2 years. Also, mom and dad had advised Anne to choose a good horse. So there are so many things she has to take care of before deciding to buy that little foal. Why? Because if she decides to buy a little foal, then mom and dad definitely will not be happy. They will be unhappy with this. And also, that horse is so small that it needs special love and care for at least 2 years because it is very young. Now, Anne is herself very young. Do you think she'll be able to take care of another young animal? Huh? So let's see what happens. Let's start reading. Okay, dear. So open your books. Come on, hurry up, everybody. Are your books open? You remember where did we leave it last time? Anybody remembers where did we leave it last time? We read from page number 5, 6, 7 till page number. Come on, children. You know that we read it till page number. Yes, we read it till page number 11. So we have to begin 12. So we have to begin from page number 13. Okay. So come on everybody, open up your books. You can see this page here, the one that I have opened. Open to this page. Open to page number 13. Okay. So let's start reading. Okay. Now this is, I will begin it from here, although we read it here, but again I'm going to begin it here so that I can have a quick review with you people. Its mother died, Anne heard the man say, and I haven't time to look for it myself. So it was the master of the horse who was saying this, and I don't have time to take care of this horse anymore because the mother has died. It's a fine little horse, said someone else, but I doubt if you would sell it. Hmm? So most farmers are too busy to mother such a young thing. So most of the people there are saying that the horse seems to be of a good breed. The horse seems to be good, but it's too small. And people don't have time to take care of a small animal because they are here to buy horses to help them in their work, not to take care of them, right? The foal moved a few steps and its legs looked more awkward than ever. It raised its head and looked around with frightened brown eyes. Now the whole foal was so small that it was scared. "Oh, grandfather," said Anne, "that's the horse I want. Please buy him for me." So now this was the place where we left. Remember when Anne told her grandfather that she wants this horse? "Oh, you can't have that one," said grandfather smiling. Now the grandfather refuses. He says, "No, you can't have this horse." "Oh, please," begged Anne. "That's the horse I want." Gone was her dream of a big brown horse with a glossy coat. Gone was her dream of galloping like the wind. She just wanted this poor little frightened foal. She wanted him more than anything in the whole world. Oh, now, what is happening? Hmm? Anne has suddenly changed her mind, and rather than asking grandfather for a big brown horse with a glossy coat so that she could gallop on it like the wind. What was galloping? Galloping was moving on the fastest speed of a horse. So everything like this dream was gone, and all of a sudden she decided to buy this poor little frightened foal, and she was just like, okay, I want it. She was very much firm in her decision that this is the horse I want. "But you won't be able to ride it for a long while," said grandfather. Now the grandfather is actually giving a reason of not buying the horse. What is the first thing he says? That you won't be able to ride it. Now you wanted a riding horse, and this is so small, you won't be able to ride it. You can't take a ride on it. "I know," replied Anne, "but he'll soon grow, won't he?" So now Anne is confused and she's saying, "Oh, grandfather, I know not right now I will be able to ride it, but it will grow up. I'll take care of it. It will grow up and I'll ride on it." Okay, so turn the page. "Yes," agreed grandfather, "he will grow quickly enough." Now the grandfather is saying, yes, definitely he will grow because it's a living thing. It's an animal. It will grow. Okay, so what happened next? Yeah. He put his arm around Anne and said, We'll go and look at the others again, shall we? Now the grandfather is saying, come on, let's go and look at other horses. Why are you stuck up here? Like as your mother must be doing sometimes with you when you say to her, Mama, buy me this thing, or Papa, buy me this thing. And they say, okay, let's see the market first. Why are you so in such a hurry? Don't buy this thing. Because when they don't want to buy you something, or they don't think that that thing is good enough for you, they always tell you to buy a different thing, okay? "Oh, please buy me this one," begged Anne, nearly in tears. "He must have someone to look after him, and you said I could choose whichever I liked. Oh, please, grandfather." Now Anne is trying to persuade her grandfather. Anne is actually trying to give reasons to her grandfather that, please, grandfather, buy me this horse. And she's, having tears in her eyes, and she's getting emotional that, grandfather, you told me I can buy any horse, and now you are telling me that I cannot have this. Why? Please buy me this horse. Well, this is what you also do, right? When you are with your parents and they're not buying something, you have tears in your eyes and you get emotional. Mama, Papa, please, please, please buy me this thing, right? Exactly the same thing is being done by Anne. She's a clever girl. Grandfather felt he ought to say no. Now, he ought to say no, that means he should say no very firmly. But he had said Anne could choose, and he was very fond of Anne. So he said, are you sure? Now, grandfather wants to say no. He knows that this is not a wise decision from Anne, but because he loves Anne so much and he had actually promised Anne that he will buy her any horse, so he is a little bit, are you sure? I mean, you want to buy this horse? He's asking her again and again. Maybe she can change her mind. Then he said, all right, and paid the money, and the foal was Anne's. Now grandfather is such a nice man that he kept his promise and he bought Anne what she wanted. The man who sold it agreed to make it to Anne's house in his lorry. Lorry is a truck, okay? An open truck is a lorry. So he gave Anne a bottle of milk with a rubber teat on the top. Now see, the horse is so small that he cannot even eat grass or anything or graze in the field. He needs to be given milk in a bottle so that he can drink milk and grow up. It's the only way he will drink yet, he explained. But he has 2 meals of corn a day. So now the man is telling Anne that, okay, Anne, he will only drink milk from the feeder, and he can also give him 2 meals of corn a day. But he will not eat anything else because he is so small. So very soon, as one is standing with outside her own house, once more, holding the little foal on a rope and watching the lorry drive away in a cloud of dust, taking grandfather back to town with it. So grandfather just dropped the horse with Anne at her home and left in the lorry back to the town. And now Anne is standing in front of her home with a rope and the little foal with it. At that moment, her mother and father came to the door. They stared at Anne and the little foal. Then they both exclaimed. Now, mother and father came out in excitement that, oh, let's see what Anne has brought. And she must have bought a beautiful brown horse, with a glossy coat, and a riding horse she must have bought. And they are just staring at her. What does stared mean? Stared means to look at somebody, with surprise. Okay, what is this? And they both exclaimed, they both said, they both all of a sudden said, and that isn't the horse you have bought, is it? Now they're confused. And what have you done? Is this the horse you have bought? They're asking her. Yes, replied Anne, a little doubtfully. Now Anne knows that mother and father will not be happy with her decision. So she's saying like, yes, yes, I have bought this horse, because she knows she will be scolded. But you can't ride on that, said her mother. Now her mother is saying that, Anne, you have bought such a small horse. How will you ride on it? You wanted a riding horse, right? Remember, why did Anne want a horse? So that she could ride like other children on the fields. And now all of a sudden she bought a small horse. So her mother is like, how will you ride on it? You cannot ride on this horse. Okay, so let's turn the page. Whatever was grandfather thinking about to let you have it, her father exclaimed. Now our father is asking, "Okay, how did grandfather buy you this horse? I mean, what was he thinking when he buy you this horse?" "He didn't really want me to have it," explained Anne, "but he had promised that I could choose whichever one I wanted. And this one looks so small and frightened, and he needs someone to look after him. You see his mother died, and now Anne is giving them explanations. Anne is telling her parents that mom and dad, grandfather was not ready to buy me this horse. He told me again and again not to buy it, but I wanted it. And why does she want it? Now see, Anne is actually a very nice girl with a very loving heart. She is telling her parents that I chose this horse because it was a small and frightened, and it needed someone to look after him. So now she is actually being like be very gentle and kind. This is showing the gentle and kind and very loving aspect of her character and her nature, that she's a very loving and caring person. She is very, very, very soft at her heart. And although she had a dream of riding a horse and everything, but now when she saw a small horse, she thought, oh, nobody will buy this horse, and this horse has no mother, and the owner of the horse is even not ready to keep it. So she said, okay, I'll buy this horse and I'll take care of him, and he needs love and care, and I will give him this love and care. So actually the reason why she bought the horse is very good. She is a animal loving person, okay? Got it? Okay. All right, said her mother gently. Let's make him comfortable in the field. We can talk about him afterwards. Now, her mother is also a good woman, and she is actually not a cruel or unkind lady. She is also saying, okay, let's make him comfortable in the field. We'll talk about it afterwards, because she knows that Anne has bought the horse for a good reason. But again, she's confused that how will be she able to take care of such a small horse? She's herself very young. Later at dinner time, she said, Anne, you know you won't be able to ride that little foal for a very long while, don't you? Now her mother is asking, do you know that you won't be able to ride this horse? Yes, said Anne. Now Anne is saying, yes, I know, Mom, I won't be able to ride this horse. You won't be able to ride him for 2 years, added her father. 2 whole years. Now her father is telling her that this horse will at least take 2 years to give you a ride. That means 2 years is the time he will actually take to grow up to a big young horse. 2 years? Whispered Anne. Oh, I mean, like now she must be confused that 2 years. Oh, that's a long time. She had known it would be a long time, but she had thought a long time meant a few months or a year at the most. 2 years? She was 7 now. That meant she would be 9 before she could go galloping over the hills. 2 years. Her face went very pink. Now what happened, that when grandfather told her and when her mother told her that, see, and you won't be able to ride this horse for a long time, in her mind she was thinking that it's gonna be like some months or probably an year, and then the horse will grow up and I will have it. And right now she's 7 years old. But when her father told her that at least 2 years time will be taken for this foal to grow up and for it to be able to take you on its back across the fields and give you a ride, now Anne is like, okay, 2 years is a long time. But now she has taken her decision, so she has to stick with it. Although her face went pink. What does this mean? Her face went pink. That means she was a little confused. She was a little upset listening to this, that, oh, it's a long time. But she has decided. So students, today we will read it till here, and in the next lesson we'll continue from here. So how much have you studied so far? How much have you understood so far? You can actually understand what kind of a girl Anne is now, right? Anne is a little girl, 7 years old only, but she is a very kind and gentle girl. And she wanted to buy a big horse, but she bought a small foal just because she wants to take care of it. Okay? So let's have a look at the questions and answers for this chapter. Okay? Now when I'm going through the question and answers, I want you all to pay attention so that when you have to do these questions in your copy, you know actually what we are talking about. Okay? So the first question we have here is, who was Anne and where did she live? Now you know who was Anne? Anne was a lovely girl who lived in a country cottage which had a field as well as a garden and a stable at the side. Okay, so you know who was Anne? Anne was a young girl, and where did she live? She lived in a country cottage with a stable. Next question. How did Anne's wish come true? Now what was Anne's wish? for a horse. So how did it come true? Let's see. Anne's wish came true when she got a letter from her grandfather who wanted to take her to a horse fair and buy a horse. Okay? Third question. Which kind of horse did Anne want to buy? Now it's very simple. I've repeated it so many times. What is the answer? She wanted to buy a big brown horse with a glossy coat. Very good. Next question. Why did it become difficult for Anne to choose the right horse? Why was it difficult? It became hard for Anne to choose the right horse because there were so many horses and they were all equally beautiful. Okay, when she was going to the horse fair, she had never seen a horse fair before. So she was like, okay, I'll choose a horse very easily. But when she went there and she saw so many horses, she was confused. Okay. Why did Anne choose Little Fool with slim legs? Come on, why did she choose it? I just told you, we just had the answer. Anne chose Little Fool because he needed someone who could look after him. Okay, so this was the reason why Anne chose a little horse. Okay, let's have a preview. Now what's gonna happen next? Do you think Anne will be able to look after the little fool? Why do you think that? Now, if I think about it, yes, I think Anne might be able to look after the little fool because she's a loving and caring person, right? And she has a very gentle and a kind heart. So I think she will be able. Do you think she will be able? Okay, we'll read that in the next chapter or in the next lesson we have, right? That will she be able to take care of the horse? But I think she will be. Because when she has decided something, then she must stay firm on it. Because see, students, in life, whenever you take a decision, then stick by it. If you know that you're doing a good thing, if you're going to help somebody, if you're going to do a favor to somebody, or if somebody or something, it can be an animal, it can be a human, then always be interested in it till the last part. Okay, just don't be like, okay, fine, I want to do this, and later on say, no, I don't want to do this now, I'm tired of doing it, or I'm, oh my god, how long can I take care of it? No, take care of several things in life, and they are going to, this is going to make you happy, and this is going to make Allah also happy with you. Okay, so always take care of everything around you, and especially you take very good care of the elders in your home, the old people. Be very, very, very kind and gentle to your mother, your father, your grandparents. They love you a lot. They might at times get angry, you know, because of several other reasons you don't need to think about, but always take care of people around you. And not only people, you have to take care of the animals around you as well. Don't ever, ever, ever be harsh or rude to living things, because this is not good. Allah doesn't like it. Okay? So let's move on. This was just a thoughtful lesson for you people, maybe. Come on, let's move on. So the words and the sentences. Today, last time we did the words and the meanings. Today we'll be doing some sentences. So what is the meaning of the word scarcely? I told you in the last lesson, what is the meaning of the word scarcely? Remember? Scarcely means hardly. Okay? So let's have a sentence here. He was so frightened that he could scarcely speak. So scarcely means very hardly speak. But this is the sentence I am giving you. You have to make your own sentences. Okay, try to make your own sentences when you make them in the copy. The next word is journey. Journey is a small travel. We went for a long journey with our friends. So journey is travel. Cottage. A cottage is a small home. The servants were sleeping in the cottage. Delight. Delight is to be happy. The girl delighted her very much. The gift delighted her very much. So delighted is that when she received the gift, she was very happy with it. Firm. Firm is to be steady, to be very, to hold to something, to be very strict in your decision. She was very firm in her decision. Firm means rigid, very strong in her decision. Okay? So students, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Make sure you read the lesson again thoroughly and revise the questions and answers and try to make your own sentences. Okay? Now this is actually your assignment. What you have to do is, once you have read the chapter with me, Go through it again, read it again by yourself, because your self reading will give you more knowledge of it. Listening is good, but reading is better. Read it yourself. Every time I ask you to read it thoroughly, means read it with the words and the meanings and understanding. Try to make sense out of each and every paragraph, each and every sentence you are reading. Okay, read it thoroughly and then revise the questions and answers. Don't do this thing that you just see a lesson, you watch it, and you just, like, wait for the next one. No, in the meantime, whenever you are free, go through the lesson again and again, because that is actually revision. It will help you learn the questions and answers, the words and the meanings and the sentences very easily. Trust me. If you keep watching the lesson again and again, and if you read the lesson thoroughly and you listen to the lectures carefully, this English literature would be very easy for you. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying all the lessons. If there are any issues today, we'll be discussing again this chapter next time, so don't worry, be happy. Okay, so take good care of yourself, and again, as I told you, help the people around you. Okay, so today you have learned one thing, that you have to help everybody around you. You're going to be a helpful and a loving person. And again, I miss you all, and I am waiting to see you all. And take very good care of yourself, because you all are very important to all of us. Okay? Allah Hafiz.